Hello everyone, this is actually part 2 of a video for which part 1 is on my alternate channel, Sammy Harbors, so I recommend you go watch the first part before watching this one because that sort of gives context for what I'm talking about, that being JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And in that video, I share some of my actual opinions on the show, as well as talking about what if Dragon Ball characters had stands. So, yes, please definitely go see that first. Anyways, I hope you enjoy this video. Okay, finally we are getting into the Sonic series, so let's unpack that, starting with Sonic. His stand would be called Endless Possibilities, after the theme of Sonic Unleashed, Endless Possibilities. His stand, Endless Possibilities, has the ability to manipulate ring energy, so using rings for other purposes than protecting himself from damage. We've seen rings do various things throughout the Sonic series, including traveling through dimensions like he could in the Sonic movie, as well as like the giant rings in certain games such as Sonic 3 Knuckles and Sonic Mania. He could create a trail of rings to do the light speed dash, or simply use the rings to activate his boost ability. Also, taking from the Archie comics, if he generates enough ring energy, he could turn into Ultra Sonic, which is a form surpassing even that of Super Sonic. And in that form, he has matter manipulation, so Endless Possibilities would make Sonic quite a force to be reckoned with. I envision Endless Possibilities looking like a mixture of Chip, as in Light Gaia. It looked like a combination of that character and Lumina Flow Light, but with a golden color. Now you're probably wondering who the heck is Lumina Flow Light? She's a character whom Sonic befriends in Sonic Shuffle, which is that obscure party game for the Sega Dreamcast that nobody really likes, but I don't know, I still kind of like Lumina Flow Light. I guess maybe just her design. So anyways, Endless Possibilities comes from Sonic's desire to save woodland critters. Makes sense, I mean that's pretty much what he's about besides going fast. Shadow's stand is called Live and Learn. That song does not need any introduction. With Live and Learn, Shadow can reshape chaos energy into different weapons, such as, a sword, a boomerang, a bow and arrow, maybe even a gun. He can also use Live and Learn to tame his uninhibited power, as in the unstable power that he unleashes after taking off his inhibitor rings. Live and Learn looks like Doom's Eye from the Shadow the Hedgehog game, but more squid-like. And Live and Learn comes from Shadow's desire to live up to his new purpose in life, rather than dwelling in the past. And his new purpose is, protecting the Earth like he promised Maria, as well as being Sonic's rival. Tails' stand would be called Fly High, like the song I Wanna Fly High from Sonic Adventure, which was Tails' theme song in that game. Fly High has the same abilities as Weather Report from Stone Ocean, that being, weather manipulation. It even looks like Weather Report, but it's smaller and more fox-like. Fly High comes from Tails' desire to be helpful to Sonic and to be his own hero, rather than just being a sidekick, or a lab technician, or whatever. Knuckles' stand would be called Unknown for Me, after the song Unknown for Me, which was his theme in Sonic Adventure 2. What his stand does, it sends power from Knuckles' ancestors, that being the Echidna clan, into him. And it can also mimic chaos. Appearance-wise, it shifts between looking like Chaos and looking like Enerjack from the Archie comics. Unknown for Me comes from Knuckles' desire to protect the Master Emerald, which is what he does most of the time. Dr. Eggman's stand would be called the Imperial Scramble, named after the Star Wars song Imperial March, but I added Scramble because it's Eggman. Eggman definitely took inspiration from Star Wars when he built the Death Egg, so why not have his stand named after one of Star Wars' most iconic songs, you know? Imperial Scramble erases space between himself and a focal point, just like the hand, that being Okuyasu's stand. Its appearance is a mixture of the hand and how the Egg Emperor looks. Imperial Scramble comes from Eggman's desire to get rid of Sonic and take over the world. So, basic villain stuff. Blaze's stand is called New Day, named after the song A New Day from Sonic Rush. Her stand is fire manipulation, the likes of which is basically the same as how Magician's Red was handled. It would even look like Magician's Red, but if it were a cat instead of a bird. Wouldn't really make sense for it to look like a bird. And New Day comes from Blaze's desire to maintain peace in her kingdom, because she is a princess and that is important to her. Silver's stand is called His World, the theme song of Sonic 06. His stand allows him to reverse time and manipulate volatile forces. Now, you'll notice how I didn't say time travel, because it's not quite that. With this stand, Silver would have the ability to rewind time up to, I'd say like maybe 30 seconds, which is still a lot of time considering how fast these characters are. His stand is a lot like that of a character from Steel Ball Run, which I can't name that character because I haven't read Steel Ball Run yet, so I just forget that character's name, embarrassingly. But I know he exists. At any rate, Silver's stand His World looks like Killer Queen, but more arenaceous. As in, Hedgehog-like. I say Killer Queen because Killer Queen also had time reversal, but it was through his Bites the Dust ability. You'll also notice how I said one of the abilities was volatile forces, as in like explosive force. I think that would serve to add an extra layer of deadliness to Silver's telekinesis. So, like, he can make whoever he affects with his telekinesis explode. So, definitely something you want to avoid. Perhaps really the only way to counter that would be someone really fast like Sonic just speed blitzing it. His world comes from Silver's desire to save the future. Next up is Amy, with her stand being called Sweet Passion, which is the name of her theme song from Sonic Adventure. That stand's ability would be hypnosis and hammer manipulation, so it can throw hammers, almost like how Hammer Brothers can from Super Mario. So that would work well in conjunction with her own Pico Pico hammer, I guess. Its appearance looks like a mixture between Amy herself and Spice Girl, that being Trish Una's stand. It comes from Amy's desire for Sonic to fall in love with her. Cream's stand is called Follow Me, with its namesake being from Team Rose's theme in Sonic Heroes. Its ability would be grass manipulation and shape-shifting. So it'd have like the same sort of stand ability as the Fool, that being Iggy's stand, but the element of Follow Me would be grass instead of sand. Anyways, its appearance would be a mixture of the Fool's appearance and how a Chaw Walker looks, as in the giant mechs that Chaws use in Sonic Adventure 2. It comes from Cream's desire to keep her pet Chaw, Chocolate, safe. Espio's stand would be called the Chaotix, and it would have essentially the same ability as Hermit Purple, that being manipulation of a magic rope and shape-shifting. So it would be a rope-like tool instead of a vine-like structure that Hermit Purple is. I also envision the Chaotix having a bronze color, and it comes from Espio's desire to master the art of stealth and know his enemy's every move, because, well, he's a ninja. And you may remember earlier how I said Tien would have the same stand as another character on this list, and Espio is who I'm talking about, because just as many Sonic characters tend to have Dragon Ball counterparts in a sense, I think Tien and Espio are somewhat alike. And with Tien's third eye, it makes sense that he would have, like, a divination sort of ability. Something to channel his, sixth sense into. Moving on, we have Rouge the Bat, and her stand would be called In Freedom. Fly in the Freedom is her theme song from Sonic Adventure 2, so that's why her stand is called In Freedom. Her stand abilities would be the same thing as Stone Free from Jolene. So she can manipulate strings, unravel her body, slice things efficiently, entangle enemies, talk to allies from long distances using the string, or hear what's being said. Its appearance looks like Stone Free, but more bat-like. And In Freedom comes from Rouge's desire to find and keep the world's finest jewels. I could see the abilities of Stone Free being useful for a spy like Rouge, so I think it's fitting. Last character from Sonic on this list is Infinite, and the stand would be called Danger Kid, which is the name of the band that played Infinite's theme song in Sonic Forces. His abilities would be the same as White Snake's, the original stand of Enrico Pucci, and I think Infinite would get this stand because he wants to prove that he's not weak. So I mentioned that I would be talking about characters from series other than Dragon Ball and Sonic. The next series I'm picking characters from is Mario. So let's start with Mario, as he is the titular character of that franchise. So Mario's stand is called Superstar, like, jump up superstar, and it lets Mario possess anything, so basically Cappy. You can think of it as the result of Cappy becoming permanently affixed to Mario's spirit, which I think is a cool concept. And Superstar comes from Mario's desire to go on new adventures. I mean, that's his core personality trait, so there you go. Luigi's stand is called Try Again, which is the battle theme from Mario and Luigi Dream Team. And his stand ability is basically what his final smash was in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And that is the negative zone. And he can produce this, like, vortex / force field / whatever you want to think of it as. And inside of this zone, he can cause, like, damage inducement. He can reduce an enemy's power as well as their speed. And as for what his stand looks like, Try Again looks like Luigi, but a bit more ethereal rather than, like, ectoplasmic. And Try Again comes from Luigi's desire to conquer his fears and step out of Mario's shadow. Peach's stand is called Lead the Way, which is the second vocal song in Super Mario Odyssey besides Superstar. It's what plays when Mario is escaping from the cave on the Moon Kingdom. And this stand ability allows Peach to control others' emotions, which can fuel her own vibe powers, as in the ones she had in Super Princess Peach. Lead the Way is the result of Perry attaching to her spirit, similar to how Cappy would for Mario. Lead the Way comes from Peach's desire to fend for herself and her kingdom instead of having to rely on Mario rescuing her. Peach does get kidnapped a lot, and I'm sure she feels bad about that. Yoshi's stand is called Walk the Dinosaur. You know, the 80s song, it was also an Ice Age. Honestly, I couldn't really think of any other song to name it after. Walk the Dinosaur turns anything Yoshi hits with his eggs into dinosaurs. So this is basically scary monsters that Diego has in Steel Ball Run. Appearance-wise, the stand actually manifests through Yoshi himself as he becomes more T-Rex-like in his stature. Also, Yoshi's name is written across his body in this state. Walk the Dinosaur comes from Yoshi's desire to make new friends. Because if you think about it, Yoshi is a very social creature, just as the rest of his species is. Bowser's stand is called Showtime. This is basically the same ability as Mr. President, where Bowser has a pocket dimension within his shell to store his minions in. Showtime comes from Bowser's desire to take over the Mushroom Kingdom and defeat Mario. As I said before, basic villain stuff. Wario's is called WarioWare Inc., named after his own game company, as well as the theme song for the WarioWare games. It's the same ability that Darby Younger has with his stand, where he can collect the soul of anyone who loses to him in a game, collecting their soul as a gold medal. It resembles Darby's stand, Atom, but it's stockier, wears a biker costume, and has a mustache like Wario does. WarioWare Inc., the stand, comes from Wario's desire to steal and become the richest man alive. Waluigi's stand is called Purple Rain, after the Prince song. Again, couldn't think of anything else from the actual Mario series. But anywho, He has the abilities of sticky fingers. He can manipulate zippers. Appearance-wise, it looks like sticky fingers too, but it's taller, leaner, purpler, and has a mustache like Waluigi's. Purple Rain comes from Waluigi's desire to separate himself from his bad luck to fulfill his dreams. Probably wondering, like, where am I getting that from? It's from an interview that Charles Martinet did, I think back in like 2017 or something, and he talked a little bit about Waluigi's personality, but that could just be speculation, but I mean, whatever works. Rosalina has a stand called Storybook, named after the music that plays when she's reading out of her storybook in Super Mario Galaxy. With this stand, she can induce a zero-gravity environment, and she can empower her Lumas with centrifugal force. So it's like that, enemy stand user, Jolene and Weather Report were fighting together when they were, trying to escape the prison. The name is slipping my mind, so I apologize about that. But yeah, that character basically had the same abilities I'm talking about. Storybook looks like a mix of Rosalina and a Sprixie princess, like the little princess creatures, fairy-looking creatures from Super Mario 3D World. Couldn't think of what else to make it look like. Anyways, comes from Rosalina's desire to protect her Lumas and preserve the cosmic cycle. Now we get to the, what I am calling the bonus section, because I have also included Kirby characters, but just Kirby, Dedede, and Meta Knight. Kirby's stand is called Green Greens, after the very first stage of Kirby's Dreamland, no less. The abilities of Green Greens is similar to that of the Star Rod, as in it fires star projectiles, and also it can turn the Warp Star into the starship that Kirby used in Kirby Superstar. So essentially with this, he can summon the powers of the Star Rod at will without having to have access to the actual weapon. I went ahead and just did this because, quite honestly, Kirby's already overpowered as is, so it's kind of hard to think of an ability he can't already do. I mean, I guess he doesn't have any time manipulation powers, but I already talked about time manipulation powers abundantly through other characters on this list, and Kirby is probably immune to time hacks anyways, just knowing him. It basically looks like, believe it or not, Void Termina in its final form, where it looks a lot like Kirby, but it's a silver-colored version of that. So there's a fan theory that's been circulating a lot since Kirby Star Allies that Kirby is like a positive manifestation of Void Termina, which makes a lot of sense. That was sort of hinted at in the game. If that's the case, then that would explain why Kirby is so absurdly powerful. Also, Green Greens would come from Kirby's desire to enjoy a peaceful lifestyle of eating and sleeping, because Kirby is fairly simple-minded like that. Now, Dedede, his stand would be called Gourmet Race, after the song that plays in the Gourmet Race mode in Kirby Superstar. With this stand, he basically has the same abilities as Soft and Wet that Josuke has in JoJo Leon. So he can manipulate a bubble, which can, like, steal the properties of other things and erode those objects, and it can also act as a shield. Gourmet Race looks like Soft and Wet, but it's rounder. kind of like, Dedede's proportions. And it comes from Dedede's desire to defeat Kirby and rule over Popstar, because it seems like his kingly status is more of a self-proclaimed title. Finally, we have Meta Knight, with his stand being called Back Atcha, after the theme song of the Kirby Right Back Atcha series. And he possibly has the most OP ability on this list, and that is causality manipulation. And this works in undoing any enemy's actions unless it's a scenario in which he's the villain. So, like, if he's fighting Kirby and usually he's in the position of being the antagonist while Kirby is the hero, or at least he's innocent and has no ill will towards Meta Knight, then his powers would be useless. But if it's a situation where he's the hero, for instance, like when he was fighting Galactica Knight, then he can tap into the powers of Back Atcha. And this is actually sort of how Golden Experience Requiem works, which is what I based Meta Knight's powers on. Because, like base Gold Experience Requiem is connected to Giorno's karma manipulation. And it's energized by Giorno's strong sense of ideals. So if Giorno goes against his morals, then theoretically that would nullify the powers of Gold Experience Requiem. Anyways, it would look like a dark and smaller version of Heavy Lobster, and comes from Meta Knight's desire to conquer the strongest fighter in the universe. So I could envision it developing during the events of Meta Nightmare. Hey, so thanks for watching to the end of the video. I hope that was worthwhile, for all you fellow JoJo fans, that is. And it is hashtag end of video squad time. And I'm going to be answering a comment from the previous video that left this hashtag, and yeah, and said comment is from Nintendo Fan 64. I'm just going to be paraphrasing since I'm doing this from my phone, and they basically said that they want to know my thoughts on a Mario and Sonic 2.5D platformer, or a 3D platformer, either or. And they elaborated saying that, the Mario and Sonic Olympic series has gotten kind of stale, and other than that, the only real Mario and Sonic crossover is in Super Smash Bros., which is true. So that is how they came up with this idea. And yeah, I've actually thought of a similar idea in the past. And of course, nothing like that has actually happened, but it really should. It really should. I might, maybe in the future, I might make an entire video dedicated to that game idea. It would be really cool if you could, have Mario and Sonic working together, and you can switch between them. You can have parts of the levels that are for Mario, and it's Mario-styled gameplay, and then you can switch to Sonic for, the sections that are built more around, his abilities and the Sonic gameplay style, and that would be really cool. And, they could have it to where, the Mushroom Kingdom sort of overlaps with Sonic's world. I would love that. That would be a great idea. Have Bowser and Eggman sort of scheming together, which is something they sort of tried as a storyline in the Mario and Sonic Olympic games, certain games that have the story mode, but you know, it kind of fell flat. So, you know, a Mario and Sonic platform would be the perfect opportunity to do that. Yeah, perfect. If they did that, I mean, that would be perfect. A 3D platformer with both of them together would, you know, that would be like going above and beyond. I doubt they would do that, but if they did, that would be splendid. Anyways, yeah, thank you for watching.